I'm Catherine Orloff from Providence, and I'm very much opposed to any kind of public subsidy of the stadium. And I want to say that the words public-private partnership always make me cringe. Oh, first, before I say that, I want to say I'm so happy that the format tonight that you have, there's no experts, there's just us to get up and talk. I'm very glad you're going to listen to us. Mr. Hunt is here, and Mr. Metz are here, and I also taught at Central High School for a while. So that was, in my brain, a very good example of a public-private partnership, because at the Hanley Tech building, the building was owned by the state, but the city ran the school there. So the building was falling down, and the teachers used to go in and say, you know, why is the plaster falling? And they'd say, well, we can't do anything about it, it's the state. You know, it's just, so a public-private partnership is like the bug doesn't stop anywhere, it's kind of lost. So that's one thing I like about it. And in general, for this plan, I'd like to thank Mr. Troiano and others who have given us some very good ideas, but there's so much lack of transparency in it. The owner's refusing to name their other investors. In today's paper, the owner's refusing to release the feasibility study that says that it's going to cost $65.8 million to refurbish McCoy, but refusing to release it not only to the public, but to the Pawtucket city officials who live there and would like to know what's going on. So there's a tremendous amount of lack of transparency. And this fact that I want to tell you next is a symbol of that, I think. And that is that I attended the seminar last week with Dr. Victor Matheson over there in Pawtucket. And he spoke a little bit, he was balanced. I'd say on balance, he was a little against the public subsidy, but he was quite good. And then he had a question and answer session. This is all, I assume, was recorded and is on tape, I hope. And at the end, the last question to him had to do with the second consultant that was going to be for the legislature, Mr. Zimbalist, Andrew Zimbalist from Smith College. And what Mr. Matheson said kind of casually was, oh yes, he's very good. He's, I know him, but he and I haven't spoken about this project, and that sounded good and professional. They're not going to influence each other. And then the last thing he dropped was, and he's a friend of Mr. Skeffington. And then he kind of finished. And so I raced up there to be his first questioner when it was over to say, well, how many of there are you? Are there only 2 in the country that, you know, they had to get a friend of Mr. Skeffington to do the second consulting? And he said, well, when you get this much knowledge, you often know the players. But I don't know if Mr. Skeffington was much of a player in the baseball field before this. He just an owner recently bought the team. And so he said, Mr. Zimbalist is very objective, and it will be fine. But in Saturday's paper was Mr. Zimbalist's report on the plan, and Mr. Zimbalist is really quite for it. There's a great potential in this ballpark plan, he said, and you want a deal that's revenue neutral. If they give you the right terms, it could be a very good deal. So I just feel that those of you who are here from the legislature, I think Mr. Zimbalist should have refused to have taken that contract or not bid on it if he really was respecting it. I'm wondering whether his bill should be paid, and I'm wondering whether they might get another consultant or perhaps just listen to those of us who have spoken here today.